The world was no stranger to Elon Musk and his bold claims. As the CEO of Tesla and SpaceX, his ventures had long captured the world's imagination. From sending a car into space to working on revolutionary electric cars, Musk had built a reputation as a visionary, a man with ideas that seemed to defy the norms of science and business. However, what the world didn't expect was that, on this particular evening, Musk would do something even more extraordinary. It was an ordinary night for the tech world. The news was filled with stories of new advancements, updates on Mars colonization, and the latest Tesla innovations. But then, Elon Musk was scheduled to make an appearance on Tech Talk Live, a highly watched television show hosted by renowned journalist Rachel Keaton. The show, known for interviewing the world's most influential figures, had already promised viewers a conversation about innovation, the future of technology, and Musk's current ventures. What no one expected was that, during this appearance, Musk would drop a bombshell, one that would spark a conversation that would rock the business world and global politics for months. The interview began like any other, with Rachel Keaton introducing Musk and asking him about his latest projects. He sat calmly in his usual black blazer and Tesla-branded t-shirt, his tousled hair and focused demeanor making him look more like the eccentric genius people had come to expect. "Elon," Rachel began, "you've been making headlines for years now. But tonight, we want to talk about something that's not just about business or technology. I've heard rumors that you've uncovered something that could change everything we know about space exploration and the very nature of human existence. Is there any truth to that?" The audience was silent, hanging on her every word. Musk looked at her, his gaze sharp, and for the first time, his usual nonchalance seemed to give way to a deeper level of seriousness. "You're right, Rachel," Musk said, his voice steady but with an edge of anticipation. "I've been working on something that goes far beyond any of the projects I've ever been involved in before. It's something that could reshape human history, something that changes our understanding of what is possible." The room seemed to tense as Rachel leaned forward, intrigued. "Can you tell us what it is?" Musk paused for a moment, almost as if he was deciding how much to reveal. His reputation as someone who often teased the public with tantalizing ideas was well known, but tonight, something felt different. The words that came next would shock not only Rachel but every person watching the broadcast. "It's a technology that has been hidden in plain sight for decades. A discovery that could revolutionize everything, from energy consumption to space travel to how we view the universe itself. And I can tell you that it's not from any recent invention of mine. It's something we've already had access to, but it's been suppressed by powerful interests." The words hung in the air, and for a moment, it felt as though time itself had stopped. The audience, the viewers at home, and even Rachel were left stunned by the weight of what Musk had just said. "You mean to say that this technology already exists?" Rachel asked, her voice trembling with both excitement and disbelief. "And it's been kept a secret?" Musk nodded slowly, his face now solemn. "Yes. There are powers in place, governments, corporations, and individuals, who have kept this technology under wraps. But it's time for the truth to come out. I've been working with a team of scientists, engineers, and some former government insiders who've had access to the technology. The time has come to expose what we've found." The atmosphere in the room was now charged with electricity. The live broadcast was filled with millions of viewers, each of them eager to hear what Musk would say next. The usual sense of control that Musk carried in his public appearances was gone. His eyes were locked on the camera, and his tone became more urgent. "This technology," Musk continued, "is not about faster cars, cheaper rockets, or even renewable energy. It's about universal energy, unlimited, free energy. It's about breaking the boundaries of space travel and even changing the way we understand time and space itself." Rachel, still trying to wrap her mind around the scope of the revelation, asked, "So, what is it exactly? Can you give us any details?" Musk leaned in closer to the camera, his gaze intense. "It's zero-point energy, Rachel. The energy that exists everywhere in the universe. It's a field that can be harnessed, tapped into, and used to power everything, from cities to interplanetary travel. But it's been kept hidden. And I'm going to expose it all." The words hit like a shockwave. Zero-point energy had long been the subject of conspiracy theories and speculative science. But hearing Elon Musk, one of the most trusted names in technology and space exploration, make such a claim was enough to send shockwaves through the tech community and beyond. "You're saying that the technology to harness unlimited energy has been suppressed by powerful groups?" Rachel asked, still in disbelief. "Exactly," Musk replied, his voice firm. "And it's time for people to know the truth. I've already started working with several organizations to bring this technology to the public. It's going to change everything. But there will be pushback. There will be those who try to stop it, but the truth can't be hidden anymore." The room fell into a hushed silence after Musk's bombshell revelation. The viewers, who had been tuning in for another typical interview with the tech mogul, were now on the edge of their seats. What had just been revealed wasn't just groundbreaking, it was mind-blowing. Zero-point energy, a concept that had existed only in theoretical physics and conspiracy circles, was now being talked about as a real, existing technology. Musk's claim had shifted the conversation from futuristic tech to something much more profound, the very fabric of reality. As the live broadcast continued, the news outlets and social media exploded. Within moments, the hashtag Musk exposes secrets trended globally, and online discussions went wild. People were both excited and skeptical. Could this be true? Was Musk really revealing something secretive and dangerous, or was this just another one of his grand, provocative gestures designed to keep the world on edge? Rachel Keaton, still in shock from Musk's words, quickly regained her composure. "Elon," she began, her voice steady but full of disbelief, "you're claiming that the most advanced and disruptive technology in human history has been kept hidden by global powers? How do you explain that? Why would anyone suppress a discovery that could change the world?" Musk's gaze didn't waver. He was a man who had been at the forefront of some of the most revolutionary ideas of his time, and now he was standing on the precipice of exposing the ultimate truth. His response was calm, but there was an unmistakable edge to his voice, a mix of urgency and conviction. "Look, Rachel, this isn't something I've just uncovered. It's something that's been around for a long time. Scientists have known about zero-point energy for decades. But the thing is, it's not just a fuel source. It's a disruption. It threatens the very economy of the world. If this technology becomes available to everyone, it renders current energy markets obsolete. It changes the entire system, oil, coal, even nuclear power, all of it. Who controls the energy supply controls the world. And that's why it's been kept hidden." The room grew tense, and Rachel's expression turned from curiosity to something deeper, concern. "Are you saying there are elites, people in positions of power, who have intentionally hidden this technology to maintain control?" Musk nodded. "Yes, Rachel. That's exactly what I'm saying. The world's governments and corporations know the power of this energy, but they also know that the status quo will crumble if it becomes available to the masses. We're talking about unlimited energy, energy without cost. And when you control energy, you control everything: nations, industries, even the global economy." The gravity of his words hit the audience like a thunderclap. Unlimited energy could solve the world's most pressing issues: climate change, poverty, and energy shortages. But it could also lead to massive upheaval, disruption, and even the collapse of entire power structures. The implications were staggering. As soon as the interview aired, the reactions came in fast and furious. The global media picked up on the story within hours, but the responses were mixed. In Silicon Valley, where innovation was celebrated above all else, there was a collective buzz of excitement. Tech giants, startups, and engineers began to speculate about how this technology could change everything, from powering electric vehicles to creating self-sustaining cities. Many saw Musk's revelation as an opportunity for progress, even though some remained skeptical, questioning whether he had truly uncovered something as transformative as he claimed. Meanwhile, in Washington, D.C., politicians and policymakers scrambled to react. On one side, Republican lawmakers who had long championed energy independence saw Musk's statement as a call to arms, a chance for America to assert dominance in the global energy race. But on the other side, Democrats raised concerns about the economic impact on traditional energy sectors, worried about the loss of jobs in oil and gas industries. Even more concerning was the possibility that this technology, if controlled by the wrong hands, could be used for geopolitical power struggles. In the streets of cities across the world, ordinary citizens began to talk. Some were optimistic, dreaming of a future where energy was no longer a commodity, but a basic right. Others were more skeptical, wondering whether Musk had stumbled onto something truly transformative, or if this was another one of his grand marketing stunts. Conspiracy theories flourished, as many believed that Musk was revealing something he had only scratched the surface of, that the real truth was still being hidden. The global political elite was divided. Some saw Musk's revelations as a challenge, while others began to think about the long-term consequences of revealing such a powerful technology. If Musk was right, the world was about to undergo an irreversible change, one that would shake the foundation of everything they had built. To further explain his claims, Musk scheduled a press conference the following week. This wasn't just any press conference. It was his chance to prove that he wasn't making up wild claims. He invited the world's leading scientists, engineers, and policy experts to sit alongside him as he unveiled new details about the zero-point energy technology. As the conference began, the cameras flashed, and reporters eagerly awaited his next move. Musk stood confidently at the podium, his Tesla and SpaceX logos behind him, and began to speak with a calm, assured tone. What we're talking about today isn't science fiction. It's not a dream. It's reality, Musk began. Zero-point energy exists. It has been hidden for decades, and now we have the capability to harness it. My team and I have already begun working on prototypes to bring this energy into the open. This is going to change everything: energy production, space exploration, global power structures. But we're at a crossroads. The question is, who is willing to embrace this future? And who will fight to keep the status quo? At this moment, it was clear that Musk wasn't just discussing technology. He was talking about a global shift in power. A shift that would either benefit the global community or disrupt it completely. As the world digested Elon Musk's stunning revelations about zero-point energy, the implications became even clearer. This was no longer just about technology. It was about the very future of society, energy, and global power. People around the world were grappling with the concept of a new era, one where energy abundance could change the balance of power and eliminate many of the world's most pressing challenges. But with great power came even greater opposition. Musk's bold move had provoked not only excitement and hope, but also fear and resistance. Powerful entities that stood to lose everything if zero-point energy became public knowledge began to mobilize behind the scenes. In Washington, D.C., the U.S. government convened emergency sessions with top energy experts, military officials, and intelligence agencies. The Department of Energy initiated a full review of Musk's claims, but many were already distrustful of his motivations. Could this be a genuine breakthrough, or was Musk simply using his influence to push a personal agenda? Energy magnates, including some of the wealthiest oil and gas tycoons, saw this as a direct threat to their dominance in the market. Lobbyists flooded government offices, trying to block any efforts to release Musk's technology to the public. On the international stage, the response was just as intense. China, with its growing technological prowess, immediately began investigating the feasibility of zero-point energy and its potential impact on their energy policy. They saw this as an opportunity to leapfrog the West and secure their position as the global leader in energy innovation. Meanwhile, Russia and several European nations were cautious, not wanting to be left behind, but also wary of the disruptive consequences that such a revelation could bring to international relations. As the world's major nations scrambled to respond, one thing became clear: no one was going to sit idle. Control of energy had always been the key to geopolitical power, and now, with the potential for limitless, free energy, everything was in question. But the public reaction was the most striking. From city streets to online platforms, people around the world began to demand change. For decades, energy had been a commodity controlled by the few, making billions while leaving millions to struggle. Now, free energy seemed within reach, and the promise of a new world where poverty and climate change could be eradicated was suddenly on the horizon. In New York, a massive protest erupted outside the United Nations building, demanding that governments work together to release zero-point energy to the people. Activists, scientists, and ordinary citizens chanted slogans calling for energy justice. They rallied around the idea that no single nation or corporation should hold the keys to something that could change the planet. Their message was clear: the future of humanity shouldn't be held hostage by profit-driven motives. Meanwhile, social media exploded with debates, discussions, and memes about Musk's statement. People rallied behind the idea of a post-scarcity society, one where the energy required for global development, climate action, and human welfare was no longer a limiting factor. Hashtags like #EnergyForAll and #FreeEnergyRevolution spread like wildfire, and for the first time, grassroots movements were gaining traction on a global scale. However, not everyone was ready to give up control. The world's elites, who had long thrived on the profits of oil, gas, and nuclear energy, were desperate to retain their hold over the energy sector. Behind closed doors, corporate giants and government leaders began to work together, trying to suppress or buy out any efforts to unlock zero-point energy. Disinformation campaigns were launched, and false narratives about the technology being dangerous or unproven began to circulate. In the boardrooms of global oil companies, executives discussed how to block Musk's push for the technology to be shared openly. They knew that losing control of energy resources would mean losing not just profits, but influence over global politics, industries, and even military power. Musk's revelation had turned everything upside down, and their strategy was simple: protect the status quo at all costs. But Musk wasn't one to back down. In response, he doubled down on his commitment to expose the truth. He began partnering with scientists, engineers, and activists to build a network dedicated to making zero-point energy accessible to everyone. He leveraged his SpaceX and Tesla platforms to promote the idea of open-source energy, and publicly challenged world leaders to join him in this new era of sustainable, equitable power. 1 month after the live TV interview, Elon Musk appeared once again on a live broadcast, but this time it wasn't just another conversation. It was a global declaration. With the world watching, Musk stood at a podium in front of a live audience and delivered what could only be described as a historic speech. "We are at a crossroads," Musk began. "For too long, the energy sector has been controlled by a few powerful interests. For too long, the world's poor and marginalized have been left behind while a few corporations have profited from the misery of the many. Today, that changes. Zero-point energy is here, and it will be available to everyone. We will build a future where energy is no longer a commodity, but a right. And we will fight for this future, no matter who tries to stop us. The speech was broadcast live across every major network, and within hours, the world was buzzing. Governments, corporations, and people across the globe were forced to respond. The power struggle had shifted, and Musk had made it clear, the battle for the future had begun.